Hello, friends. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of engaging with deep thinking guests around actionable conversations on how to navigate crises before us with moral courage, fortitude, and hope. To celebrate our 1 year anniversary and the first 16 episodes of Facing the Moment, we're bringing back what listeners indicated were some of the most impactful segments. Conversations that moved people, challenged perspectives, and inspired action. In this short video, you'll hear a few inspiring insights from different voices, each sharing a point of view that could shift how we think, how we live, or how we lead. If something resonates with you, we invite you to listen to the full episodes and be part of this growing community of listeners. Let's get into it, shall we?
A woman who worked at USAID volunteered, and I always check it out 3 times. I think that's important. Are you sure you want to, do you want to do this? Are you sure? Yep, 3 times. Yeah, okay. So she wanted to do this practice. So we did some of that work with her parts inside, and she had an anxious part that was waking her up at 2 or 3 in the morning, panicked, and was overwhelming her. And so little by little, using the model that you and I know called internal family systems, little by little, helping her let it know that she got it.
Like another law of interphysics is that there's no part that self can't handle. And by part, we mean whatever's not self, like my anger, my critic, my shame, my terror, my striving, my parts that want to be nice. Those are all parts, any feeling or anything with an agenda. And some of them hold difficult feelings and that we're afraid that self can't handle, that will be overwhelmed.
So what I'm hearing you say is we have access to this core of wisdom that we carry. You called it indestructible earlier, undamaged. It's almost like the human spirit that we carry. And it has certain capabilities and qualities and maybe the promise of certain powers that if we are able to access those qualities, we might show up differently and it might allow us to heal and deal with these aspects of us that you're referring to as parts.
These parts we might call extreme parts, or sometimes in the language, firefighters. The managing parts are trying to fix things and control things and get things in shape, and they might browbeat us and be critical and push us forward and bring anxiety to the forefront. And they're trying to protect these deep wounds that we've talked about.
So that's their agenda, to be protective.
Yeah, to the pain. And they're kind of frozen, and they're pretty rigid, and they're not really aware of everything that's going on. And these others are trying to get you away from stop thinking about the pain and so on. Go get drunk. Don't feel the pain, get drunk. And the suicidal parts are in this realm as kind of rescuers on the one hand, but also let's take you completely away.
As we say, all parts are welcome because all parts have good intentions, but not necessarily all behaviors are welcome. You might have the best intentions in the world, but your behavior is not good. And that happens when you have these conflictual parties who are, like you said, not innocently, they're not the victims in this case. They're the ones really fighting each other. And each would say, I am the victim in here, I'm just defending myself. But eventually, you might commit genocides while you're trying to say, I'm defending myself. You might really commit all sorts of atrocities while you're saying, I'm defending myself. Are you really defending yourself? I do believe you. That's the hard thing. I do really believe you. But is it the way to defend yourself? I don't believe so.
So physically, we have one body, but mentally, our mind is broken up into parts. We call it parts in IFS, right? So these parts represent the voices we hear, the emotions we have, the voices we speak with or speak from, and these parts are not all the same. They sound the same in our heads, but they're different ages. They have different experiences. Some of our parts like each other. Some of our parts dislike each other. They behave like a family, which is why it's called internal family systems. In addition to the parts, there's a self. And the self never gets hurt, doesn't get damaged, is undamageable. And there's a relationship between the self and the parts that heals the wounds of the parts. But because us humans don't realize we have parts, we're often being led by our parts. We call that blended, right? So a part of you gets down over the loss, you blend it with that down part of you, right? But having this new awareness that we have parts, we can get some space from the part that has the grief, and we can give that part the attention.
Thank you for listening to this video compilation and to the Facing the Moment podcast. If this message inspired you, we invite you to support the work we're doing. Your donation helps us continue sharing meaningful stories that impact lives around the world. Please visit foundationifs.org and hit the donate button to give. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you for the next episode.